Okay, so y'all just come on in. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, would you do me a favor and I want you to tag your friends, tag your pastor, tag your musicians, friends, anyone that wants to flow in this prophetic flow or is flowing in this prophetic flow. Um, you may learn something. You may already know what I'm doing, and or this may be just brand new to you. But we want to just go into a little study real quick, and I'm gonna do a little short little training on three of the prophetic kingdom sounds of heaven. And let me see if I can fix something here real quick. Okay. So we're going to focus on three of the prophetic kingdom sounds of heaven, three of the four kingdom sounds of heaven. So one is deliverance, two, healing, three, warfare, not in that particular order. The fourth one is Jubilee, but we're not going to deal with Jubilee today because it's just like a whole nother thing all by itself, talking about the different ways of praise and then the different sounds. Okay. So, when we're dealing with this kingdom sound of deliverance, a lot of times when someone is in the ministering mode, whether they're prophesying or just ministering to someone, praying over them, there are particular chords that you can play that'll help create their atmosphere so they can flow freely, right? And those sounds normally collide or coincide with the kingdom sound of deliverance. Hey, Manuel, D. Rodriguez. Okay. And so let's talk about those. If you know your numbers, it's going to be 6, 5, 4, back to the 5, and then it's 6. Okay. We're going to do this in the key of D flat. Hey, Manuel, let me know if everything sounds okay. If I need to turn down the keys or whatever, just kind of let me know so I don't know exactly what it sounds like out there in that live stream world. All right, so let's get right down to business. So let's go to the 6, which is going to be a B flat minor. Okay. And then you're going to go to the 5, which is going to be an A flat major. And then you're going to go to the 4, which is going to be a G flat major. Back to the 5, A flat major, and then back to the 6, B flat minor. All right. And so let's put a beat with this. Okay. Let's see if you can get that view. So what I want you to understand is that when you're playing these chords, your left hand can play just like the tritone or the 1 and 5 of the 6. So in this case, B flat and F. Okay. And then when you go to the 5, which is the A flat, you can do the 1 and 5, the A flat and the E flat, 2 notes together. And then you got the G flat, which is G flat and D flat, 2 notes together. Okay, so you can play those 2 notes together in your left hand. Then go back up. In your right hand, you'll play the actual chord, B flat minor, then A flat major, G flat major, A flat major, B flat minor. Okay, and when you're in this flow, so That is the kingdom sound of deliverance. That flow is a great prophetic flow. If someone is just ministering, they're praying, or they're prophesying, speaking a word of knowledge or wisdom or someone, you can play that pattern every time, create the atmosphere. Let me talk real quick about what sounds I'm using. Right now, I'm using a piano, an ambient piano, which is more of a soft or mellow piano. It's not your bright piano, but it's more of a mellow, soft piano. And it has a little echo delay in it. So it kind of got that, let me see if I can just single out the piano all by itself. So you heard that, got a little delay in it. All right, that delay is not necessary that you have to have it in order to have the sound. I just use it because it sounds great and it kind of adds a little bit more ambient. All right, the pads is a on this particular piano, it's like an analog pad, but it's warmer. So it's going to be, it's called super dark pad. And it's like an analog pad, so it's not as bright. It's a warm sound. And so it gives you that kind of a warm, let me just kind of pull it up here. Let's go to the pad. And so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. There we go. And then we'll turn it up so you can hear it. Okay. Now, I'm also using Sunday Sounds on my computer, and Sunday Sounds is run through Mainstream, and so it has its own pad, and I can bring that up so you can hear what that sounds like. It has more of a fuller with a shimmer. It kind of lets it echo out. You hear that? Keeps that going. All right. And then even this one has a nice piano. And let me see if I can turn it. Okay. So I just didn't want it overwhelming. So I turned it down a little bit. All right, so now let's go back. Let's dive back into this. Now, warfare. When you're doing Kingdom Sound of Warfare, it is also a minor chord on the first note, but it's going to be your 1 instead of the 6. So you're going to go with the 1 and then what we call a 6 sharp and then a 5 sharp. So if you know your numbers, it's 1, 6 sharp, 5 sharp. What does that look like in the key of D flat? You're in D flat. Your 6 sharp is going to be a B major. Okay, so instead of a B flat, a B major. Okay, and then your 5 sharp is just going to be an A major instead of an A flat, an A. Okay, and then back to the B, and then back to your 1 minor. Okay, and then there's a thing you can add on after you get to the A. You can go to a 4 and keep the A. So your bass will play a 4, okay, and then back to the 1. All right, so let's see what that sounds like. Okay, let's go. 1 minor, B, A, back to the B, back to the 1, 4, 1. There you go, 4. There you go. All right. So your warfare sound is going to start with your 1. So you can actually do the same thing when we're doing with Deliverance, playing your chorus with your left hand or just the 1 and the 5 with your left hand. And then on your right hand, you can just run that minor or just hang on that 1. What does that sound like? Like this. that pattern up a little bit. Okay. So when you change that pattern up, notice the pattern changed a little bit. You can change that pattern up, but still play the same chords, and that creates that warfare sound. So if someone is casting out demons, or they're just in that flow of just praying and doing warfare, you create that atmosphere. It makes it easy to flow in. Okay. And then it makes it really easy for you to flow. Simple chords, okay? Just one minor, that's 6 sharp, which is a B, 5 sharp, which is an A, okay? And I'm using numbers and notes in this language so you can understand. You can play this in any key. You can go to the key of F, okay? And then use the same concept. If one minor, okay, 6 sharp, which is in this case D is your 6, so go to the sharp, which is E flat, okay, and then your 5 sharp, which in this case C is your 5, so go to the 5 sharp, which is D flat, okay, back to E flat, then back to F, okay. All right, so now we got deliverance, we got warfare covered. Let's go back to D flat. All right, let's go to a healing sound. All right, so when you're in the healing flow, most times it's major chords, and your pattern may be a little bit different. It's not always about the tempo. Sometimes you can be in an atmosphere where there's a healing and there's a very slow tempo or no tempo at all. And sometimes there is a tempo, just something it might be a little upbeat, but the flow is simple and major. Okay, so what does that sound like? All right, so we're in this, let's give us a little strings. Bring this tempo down to like 54. Okay. Here we go. All right, so the pattern in this is 4, 5, 6, 1 over 3. Okay, so what does that look like? So let's break this down. Okay, so real quick. First of all, a lot less piano or just a warm piano, and you got some padded sounds. So I'm mixing the pad with a little strings in here. Okay. And then your 4, in this case, we're in D flat. So your 4 is going to be G flat, 5, A flat, 6, B flat minor. And then when I say 1 over 3, you're going to go to your D flat, and on your left hand, you're going to play a 3, which is F. Okay? And then back to your G flat. All right, and then sometimes you may just be in that 4 and a 1. Okay. So let me reset this real quick. So you may just be in the 4 and then the 1, 5. Okay. So remember, deliverance sound is a minor, major, major that would normally start around your six. So 6 5 4 deliverance. Prophetic warfare sounds one. Start with your one, and it's a minor chord on the one, and then it's a 6 sharp and a 5 sharp. You play that pattern, you can't go wrong. Okay. Then healing. Healing is normally more pads, less bright piano, more of a warm piano, and you're gonna do some more major chords. So you can be the one and the four and the six, back to the four. Okay. Or you may do a pattern that is 4 5 6 3/5 4 5 6. Okay. And so you can go back and forth depending on the flow. You're here. Allow the Holy Spirit to lead you and tell you where you feel the peace at, and you flow in that. Don't deviate from your pattern. It's very important that once you get a flow going, try not to deviate from it unless it's something that is going to shift you back to what you were doing. Okay. But most of the times, people who are flowing prophetically, once you're in a rhythm, once you're in the flow, they don't want you to shift from that. Okay. And so you want to stay in that pattern. Okay. Try not to do a whole bunch of busy stuff unless you're in a warfare sound that's really built up and you're really doing some heavy stuff. You got the drummer going, the bass going, and you're in that thing, and you might can do some busy stuff with your fingers. But when you're in that healing part, try not to be too busy, okay? Even when you're doing deliverance or just playing background for someone who's ministering or they're in that prophetic flow, try not to be too busy because it'll get their attention and they're not really focused on what the Lord is telling them to say. Okay. You want to be a help, not a hindrance. All right. So that's it on this Kingdom Sound of Heaven. Trying these three chords patterns. Try these 3 chord patterns and stay with them. Make it really simple. All right. So if you want to know more about how to flow in this prophetic flow, I would encourage you to go to you can go to our propheticworshipsummit.org website. Let me put it down there. There we go. And you can sign up for a Prophetic Now. And we can do a night of worship. The Prophetic Now is a night of worship, but it's focusing on prophetic flow. Okay? We can do that there. If you want some lessons, send me a message, and I'll get you some information, get you a free consultation, and we can go there. You can also go to my website at mykingdomservices.godaddyscites.com, and you can click on the button that says get your free consultation. Fill out the information, and I'll get an email, and I'll get back with you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it for now. Thank you so much for just tuning in. Love you all. Please share. Go to my YouTube page, Joshua Marcel, subscribe. Buy the new album. You Can Do It album is out on all platforms. Get ready, Utah. We're heading to Utah for the Worshiping Musician Summit that's going to happen at the end of July. So excited about that. So y'all get ready. If you want your team to come to the Worshiping Musician Summit, this is a great event for praise teams, musicians who want to just get away and learn some more about this prophetic flow and hear what Mr. Manuel D. Rodriguez is going to be teaching. I'm going to be teaching in that about songwriting in the prophetic flow. Dr. Bill is going to be teaching there. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then in September, y'all, I think the 4th weekend of September, we're heading to Shreveport to do the Prophetic Worship Summit there with Bishop Sasser and Apostle Erica Sasser and the team at Love Fellowship Church. It's going to be pretty awesome. So you guys tune in. Make sure you get connected, get registered. It's going to be exciting. So we love you all. Y'all have a great afternoon and keep your eyes open. The kingdom is speaking to you. Okay, the heavens are open and the kingdom is speaking. Keep your eyes open, your ears open, your heart clear. All right, God bless.